Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are up here at Memorial Park Cemetery, here just outside of Memphis, like going towards Nashville that way. And by the way, if it's a little loud, we're on the back side of the cemetery over by the interstate, so it's a little loud over here, but hey, we'll get through it. Sorry, tangent. We're here to see. I left the key in the car. Dadgum. Anyway, all right, so as I walk back, so we're here to visit the grave and pay respects to another musical icon out of Tennessee, and that would be Mr. Charlie Rich. He's buried right over that way somewhere. That's where Find a Grave has it. But as usual, I got a little late start today, and let me get my ad out of the way, my bull crap, and say if this is your first time here, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing, doing all those things. And if this isn't your first time here, hey, welcome back. Let's see. I don't want you guys to see in the car because I got two kids and it looks like a pig pen in there. So yeah, we'll try to go also, this is a bit of a longer intro for me, but we'll try to go over to the grotto. There's a cool little grotto they have here at this cemetery. We'll obviously talk about Mr. Rich and his life, celebrate his life. We'll go visit the grave and do all those things. And once that's done, I may take us over there and we'll go look at Shaft's grave. Isaac Hayes is here too, which he was in an earlier video from like a year ago. But we'll go check that out too. So I always forget to do this. Put in the comments what your favorite song was. Like what album, what movie, like anything related to him, or it ain't even got to be related to him, it can just be whatever. So yeah, just put that down below and let's get back to the video. They must have just recently had a storm. Now I know when I come up through here this morning, there was some bad weather, but I didn't think it was like break a tree in half kind of bad, because I'll throw some B-roll in. There's a little bit of damage. I mean, they're toting stumps off as big as the Toyota that's not a sponsor. Okay, I'll stop. I can't help myself. All right, so Mr. Rich was born in Colt, Arkansas, to a rural cotton farmer family. He graduated from Consolidated High School in Forest City, where he played saxophone in the band. He was strongly influenced by his parents, who were members of the Landmark Missionary Baptist Church. His mother, Helen, played piano in the church, and his father, he sang in the gospel quartets. He enrolled at Arkansas State College on a football scholarship, and then after an injury, transferred to the University of Arkansas as a music major. He left after one semester to join the U.S. Air Force in '53. So while stationed in Enid, Oklahoma, he formed the Velvetones. Gotta love that name. They played jazz and blues, and it featured his wife Margaret, who he had married in '52, on vocals. When he left the military in '56, the couple returned to West Memphis in that area to farm on 500 acres. He also began performing in clubs around the Memphis area, playing both jazz and R&B, and began writing his own material. After recording some demonstration songs for Sam Phillips at Sun Records that Phillips considered too jazzy and insufficiently commercial, Rich was given a stack of Jerry Lee Lewis records and told, "Come back when you can get that bad." In 1958, Rich became a regular session musician. God, I said that over and over all the way up here, and I just, something about it. Session musician. There we go, I got it. Not going to do that again. For Sun Records, playing on a variety of records by Lewis, for Lewis, Johnny Cash, and others. He wrote several songs for Lewis and Cash. After he began recording for the Sun subsidiary Phillips International Records, his third single was the 1960 top 30 hit Lonely Weekends. It sold more than 1 million copies and was awarded a gold disc. Rich's career stalled a little bit, and he left the struggling Sun label in '63, signing with Groove, a subsidiary of RCA. His first single for Groove, Big Boss Man, was a minor hit, but once again, his Chet Atkins produced follow-up records all failed, and in 65, he moved to Smash Records, where his new producer, Jerry Kennedy, encouraged him to emphasize his country and rock and roll learnings. Although Rich considered himself a jazz pianist, and had not paid much attention to country music since childhood. And none of that takes off, so he moves to the next label, which is High Records, where he does straight country and some like soul type music, and none of those happen either. So then what does he do? Well, despite his lack of consistent success, Epic Records signed him in 67, mainly on the recommendation of producer Billy Sherrill. Sherrill helped Rich fashion himself as a Nashville sound balladeer during an era when old rock and roll artists like Jerry Lee Lewis and Conway Twitty were finding a new musical home in the country format. This new sound paid off because in the summer of 72, when I Take It Home went to number 6 on the country charts. The title track from his 1973 album Behind Closed Doors became a number 1 country hit early that year, then crossed over to the top 20 on the pop charts. This time his follow-up single did not disappoint, as The Most Beautiful Girl spent 3 weeks at the top of the country charts and 2 weeks at the top of the pop charts. Now that he was established as a country music star, Behind Closed Doors won 3 awards from the CMA, which is Country Music Association, that year. Best Male Vocalist, Album of the Year, and Single of the Year. The album was also certified gold. Rich won a Grammy for Best Male Country Vocal Performance, and he took home 4 Academy of Country Music Awards. So after that, he didn't have another top 10 hit again until Rollin' with the Flow went to number 1 on the country charts, as well as 32 on the easy listening charts. Early that following year in 78, he signed with United Artists Records, and throughout that year, he had hits on both Epic and UA with United Artists. His hits in 78 included the top 10 hits Beautiful Woman, Putting in Overtime at Home, and his last number 1 with On My Knees, a duet with Janie Frickle. He appeared as himself in the 1978 Clint Eastwood movie Every Which Way But Loose, performing I'll Wake You Up When I Get Home. This song hit number 3 on the country charts in 1979 and was the last top 10 country single of his career. In 1980, he switched labels again to Elektra Records, and that fall released a number 12 country single, A Man Just Don't Know What a Woman Goes Through. One more top 40 hit followed, the Gary Stewart song, Are We Dreaming the Same Dream, in early 81. But Rich decided to remove himself from the spotlight. For over a decade, he lived off his investments in semi-retirement, only playing occasional gigs and concerts. And in 81, he had a bit of a part in the movie Take This Job and Shove It, which yielded his last chart single, You Made It Beautiful. So Mr. Rich and his wife were driving to Florida for vacation after seeing their son Alan perform with Freddie Fender at the Lady Luck Casino in Natchez, Mississippi, when he experienced a bout of severe coughing. After visiting a doctor in St. Francisville, Louisiana, and receiving antibiotics, he continued traveling. They stopped for the night at a motel in Hammond, Louisiana, and that's where, sadly, Mr. Rich passed away in his sleep on July 25th, 1995, at the age of 62. The cause of death is listed as pulmonary embolism. And here we go. It's a little bit in the shade, but there we go. Charlie Rich. And there's his wife, Margaret. She passed away in 2010. It's a beautiful piece, I think. Charlie Rich. Cool, check that one off the list. Hey, hold on a second. Here we go. All right, normally I'm walking. I don't have to walk this time. We got a bench. Thanks, Randy Paulson. Appreciate that. Good looking out. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Most of the B-roll is probably going to be from the grotto. It's a really cool place. I hope you enjoyed watching that as I talked, because it's a really neat place to see. Isaac Hayes, I threw him in the B-roll also. And the storm damage, as I've drove around, it looked like it had to have done this today or recently because it's fresh. But yeah, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. You guys, I'm recording on the 19th, so this will be out the 1st of next week. And the Dick Trickle video, I can't thank you guys enough for watching that. Like, that video blew up, and it was awesome. And the outpouring of love. Like, there was so many people that commented about how they loved Dick Trickle. And I mean, which I did too. Like, he was a great driver. He was awesome. Never met the guy, but he just seemed like, I don't know, you can sometimes just see it in a person, whether they're good or bad. And he seemed like a good one. And I love how people are like, you don't know how to use the word infamous. And I'm like, exactly. That's why I'm on YouTube and I'm not an English professor, because English ain't so good. So thanks again. I really do appreciate it. It's fun. It's hot though. It's a hot summer days, you know. But yeah, so I guess right there, Charlie Rich. Check that off the list. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. You never know what you'll find on the back road.